Greetings, my name is Hasan Esici from Hasan Kalyoncu University, and I am a lecturer at the Faculty of Education. TÜBİTAK project enabled us to work on a training program for the positive young development based life skills. So my presentation will be related to this topic. Our team is quite a wide one, and we will soon start applying our works. Well, we try to increase the life skills of the gifted children with a positive training program. Well, at the beginning of this work, a life skills program is, the international life skills programs have been analyzed, the developmental approaches have been assessed, and comprehensive developmental counseling methods have been checked. BSAM and school programs have been analyzed, and the programs to be conducted and the background of the program have been worked on. And then for disadvantaged groups, for instance, Botwin has some works on the addicted. We analyzed the studies from Turkey and abroad, and the contents have been assessed. And in terms of improving the events or activities, we created an activity for each life skill. The gains have been defined, the indicators for the gains have been defined, and the materials accordingly have been prepared, and then the experts' views have been taken. The last revisions have been completed, and now we are at this phase of applying them, and in May in Gaziantep province we will start applying them. The conceptual framework, we have the positive young development, 5C approach, ecologic approach, and 4H model life skills. Well, these are taken as different parts in the literature, different factors in the literature, but they are quite integrated with each other. And I will talk about them in detail soon, and it will be clearer for you too. Comprehensive developmental counseling approach. This actually emphasizes the efficacies of the students and what processes and activities are required to achieve these competencies. So professional staff and assessment procedures are included by this program. The process includes efficient staff. Of course, it should be developmental and comprehensive. The school staff, the parents, and the members of the community should cooperate. It requires a teamwork. Positive young development. We know that, it covers all the developmental areas for the child. It means the value development, moral development, and personality development of the kid. They should have the strength, they should have this strong character, and they should be self-confident at the end of the day, and they should be communicating with the rest of the community. So the model aims to raise such individuals. 5C approach, of course, in terms of conceptual perspective, what are the gains for the children, or what are the expected gains for the individuals? Competence connection can be named here. Confidence, character, caring, and compassion are the other ones to be mentioned here. And in ecologic approach, the individuals, of course, should communicate with their peers, with the rest of the community, parents, and relatives. Well, it should be a healthy relationship. It doesn't have to be it has to be a fair relationship, actually. They shouldn't be communicating only with the school or only with the family or only with the peers or friends. They should be communicating with all of them. In our region especially, there are some incidents that we have to survive, like wars, etc. And when the crime rates increase, the confidence levels decrease, and children, instead of communicating with the rest of the community, only communicate with their families, and they feel restricted. So according to ecologic approach within this program, the individual should not only communicate with their peers or with their family, but they should have healthy relationship with the rest of the community. This is our target. By the way, by gaining these skills, they have the wish to have these connections, and they will feel more self-confident. Well, of course, when we say life skills, what do we mean? Well, life skills in Turkey and in abroad have been shown by different programs and researches. There are in-school programs, there are programs that are conducted out of the school, and there are 35 life skills that can be mentioned, 35 on 4 major subjects, 8 sub-subjects, in total 35 skills. So are they limited to that, you might ask? When we look into the life skill studies, we see approaches as follows. In the studies conducted, for instance, while some of the life skills are picked and worked on, or 8 or 10 skills are combined in a life skills program. Therefore, 4H model looked quite comprehensive to us, and it shows us different life skills in quite a rich model. So these 35 skills, is that possible to make the kids gain those skills through a program? How can we make them gain those skills? Well, we were excited at the beginning, and we questioned ourselves how we can do it. Well, I will give you the details soon. It is a 7-week program, 6 hours weekly, so 42 hours in total. How can we achieve it in 42 hours? We questioned ourselves, and all of these skills within this program, when we focus on each of them, we group them within the program simultaneously. So when they are gaining these skills one by one, they actually can gain the rest of the skills. So we struggled to enrich our program. I hope we became successful. Well, I don't want to read all of the skills, life skills here, but maybe I should read a few of them. Can you see them, the audience? I don't know whether it is visible from the hall. For instance, the individual being extrovert, giving or working with others. There is volunteering for the community work, contributing to the group work and teamwork, and health. For health, self-confidence and character and self-discipline can be mentioned. And in terms of learning to learn and solving problems, etc. In the emotions, accepting differences and diversity, empathy, and nourishing relationships are some of the concepts that we can mention as life skills. During the works, when we were preparing the activities for the program, we of course created a 35 scale measuring scale. So some of these skills are higher in terms of hierarchy, like leadership skill. They are kind of a roof skill covering a few other skills. Why am I saying this? Because some of the skills picked in other programs doesn't mean they are ignoring some programs, or the works that we're going to conduct during this program, of course, doesn't require us to allocate the exact same time for each skill. For instance, the skill not to give up. How can children gather themselves together if there is a negativity? How can they continue to feel related to the life or the task? So self-discipline, teamwork, and nourishing relations actually feed this skill to not to give up. So we fulfilled our scale works, and maybe the hierarchic structure of those 35 skills. How can we see it? How can we unveil it? And how can we measure them? We are going to work on that as a next step, and the hierarchic structuring amongst these 35 skills. How can we show them? Well, as a next step, we can harmonize the activities, and the substructures can be given. Well, the other speaker is not here, but in the other hall, so you can have 7.5 minutes of the other speaker, because he's not going to talk. Okay, so the futures of the program: 7 weeks, total 42 hours, 35 activities based on games and interaction, but the activities should be interrelated, because if a kid is exposed to 6 activities weekly, that might create a kind of tiredness. So we should relate them to each other. We don't want kid to be intimidated, and we try to ensure the continuance of the groups and try to motivate the groups. We care about it. Family participation, family engagement. In the last 2 weeks, family engagement is ensured, so the families will be involved with the activities, because we know that gifted children can have conflicts with their families, or when families are approaching to their kids, they cannot find answers to their questions, but with simple games and with simple interactions, they can link with their children, connect with their children. Emotional and social development, that this is also cared for, because academic developments are already there for these children, and we can support them for emotional and social improvement and development. And another property is that children, normal children, typical children, and gifted children are getting together and they can blend. Skills in the program are associated to different weeks, and in the last week there is a project presentation. While throughout 7 weeks, at the beginning of the term, they are mentioned that they should develop a project, and in terms of life skills, what are the challenges or what are the experiences they come up to, and so they can develop a project involving themselves, and in 7 weeks, well, they can work on this project and they can improve their projects moreover after that 7 weeks as well. An example of an activity. This is a game. I recognize, I apply, I am aware, I apply, and I develop. This is for secondary school students, 5th, 6th, 7th grade students. On the 8th grade, well, they have this high school entrance examination concern, so we excluded them. 5th, 6th, 7th grade students are included, and well, the competency areas is health and to be. The gains, well, the gains here are more than what is written here actually. All of the participants will participate in this activity, and group work is also undertaken. There are 8 people composing each group for the training, so it is an effective group dynamic. It will be a structured group environment. There will be tables, and the materials are given below, but I am running out of my time. What do they do? The children are
Kartı, sorumluluk kartı gibi bir takım kart.
children are throwing dices, and there are papers here like self-respect or emotion paper, etc. And we expect them to state themselves about their experiences, about what they picked, and speak up their emotions. There are some gifts here, or they can say pass, or they can take 2 steps back. This is like a little bit like the other board games, but there are processes involved. There are emotional responsibility and self-confidence related aspects in this game. Yes, I'm about to wrap up. Well, maybe in the next Congress we can share the results of our program. Maybe I can show you some photos of our program. Assessment of the program. Life skills scale, 5C competency scale will be used, and we adapted them into we adopted one of them into Turkish, and we improved the other one. The observations of the applier, a practitioner, and the family. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.